Hey guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to the Dyslexic Reader, and welcome to my thoughts on what the best books I read in 2017 were. I hadn't noticed this before I sat down to film, but every single one of these books, although I own like two of the things I'm going to talk about now, I got all of these books from the library. They were not books that I bought or were given to me, they were all library books, every single one of them, even my couple of honourable mentions. So that's just something to pay in mind, guys. Like, praise the library. Like, I got so much good use out of the library this year. I love it. Before I get into my top five aren't in any order, it's just the top five. I want to give some sort of honourable mention shout outs that I thought weren't gonna be quite make the list, but like were super good and like should be there, but just for me weren't. I don't know how to explain it, but let's just get into our honourable mentions to begin with. First off is not really a book but an author, which is Alex Scarrow. I read The Candleman and October Skies by him this year in the last couple of months. Both 5 out of 5 star reads. I absolutely love his writing and his storytelling. I think they're really different. They're kind of mystery / psychological thriller, but historical fiction? I don't know. But they are absolutely fantastic. I read those two books. I absolutely loved them. He is quickly becoming like a favourite author of mine. And actually for Christmas, I got his Time Writers series, which is his YA series. I got the first 5 in it, so I'm interested to start those because I've only read his adult sort of crime thrillers, so I'm interested to read like his YA fantasy, but that was definitely a shout out for me. He was great. The next one was Box of Shocks by Chris McMahen. This story touched me, and I knew reading it was good, but it has stayed with me, and that's why I want to give it an honourable mention for possibly the best book of the year. It is about a young boy whose parents are very what we would call helicopter parents. They're always hovering behind him, and he feels like he doesn't have much freedom. So when he gets those split seconds of freedom, he tends to do quite dangerous, irrational things. And he collects memorabilia from each of those things and he keeps it in a box of shocks. And he has like a piece of wood from when he jumped over a neighbour's fence and they have a dangerous dog and he like tried to run away from the dog. Or he'll have a piece of metal from a bridge that he jumped off and things like that. And then he arrives home one day and his parents are like, we're moving. It's already done. They were only moving across the road. It was a bigger house but the same street. And they had already packed up his shops, and his hidden box of shocks, which was hidden in his room, they obviously didn't move. So a new family moves into his old house and he has to try and get in and get his box of shocks back. But he befriends the little boy who lives there. And the friendship, the understanding, the beauty behind the story is unreal. It's so good, and I would definitely read it to a class of mine in a heartbeat. The message behind it was beautiful, and I don't want to say any more about the friendship of the little boys because it'll spoil it, but I was not expecting it and it was gorgeous. And my last honourable mention is Good Me, Bad Me by Ali Land. I just got this on a whim on an ebook from the library and I really enjoyed it. The characters were interesting, the story wasn't overly unique, but the twist at the end did shock me. But what stood out to me was the narrative and writing style. So kind of in the way that my other honourable mentions did, they really stood out. They weren't necessarily great, but they have sort of stayed with me for one particular aspect, and this one definitely stayed with me. It is about a young girl. We learn quickly that she has turned her mother into the police. We don't know what for. And she is now living with this foster family, and it's the argument in this little girl's head that goes on. Good me, bad me. Like, how can I possibly be good even though I want to be and I'm trying to be if I've not only got the genetics of a bad person but I've been raised by a bad person? And it takes so many twists and turns, and the narrative, because it's a little girl almost talking to herself, so we can see at points that she's not maybe a completely reliable narrator, I guess. because it's all her perspective, and it is just incredibly well done. So anyone who likes sort of creepy thriller mystery type books, I would definitely recommend that one. And now getting into my top 5 books of the year. As I said, this is no particular order, but these books I just loved. The first ones I'm going to talk about are the ones that I have sitting here. So, as I said, these were all read originally from the library, but I have just bought a couple of them because I want them on my shelf and I want to reread them. Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451. This blew me away, you guys. I had never read any Ray Bradbury. I have since read a couple of other his books, enjoyed them. Not quite as much as this. I love his writing style. It's so eerie and kind of creepy, but kind of casual and almost funny at the same time. It's really weird. But the premise of this book, you guys, like, it blew me away. If you like science fiction, dystopian, like futuristic, if you love books, because it's about books. So basically our main character is a firefighter in the future. But in the future, firefighters' job isn't to put out fires, it is to start fires, and specifically to burn books, because books are banned. And I'm not going to tell you any more on that, but it's fascinating, it is thought-provoking, it is heartwarming, it is tear-jerking, it is everything, and it is not long, it's easy to follow, and it's beautifully written. I could not recommend it to anybody enough. I think anybody, no matter what style, genre, topics you like to read about, you'll enjoy this. I can guarantee it. In some way, you'll get something out of it. And then the next ones I managed to purchase was not a book, but a series. And it was the Raven Cycle series by Maggie Stiefvater. So the first one, The Raven Boys. Then we have The Dream Thief, Blue Lily, Lily Blue, and The Raven King. I read these over June and July, I believe. So I would order one on hold in the library, which normally takes a week or two, read it, and as soon as I'd finished it, put the next one on hold. I would read a couple of books in between, but that's how I sort of worked it, and I knew I had to buy them for myself. I hunted for months, and finally, I think last month, I found cheap secondhand copies online, and they're all matching hardcover editions, which is amazing, I guess. But again, I think anyone would enjoy this book, I guess, or could enjoy it. I'm not saying everybody in the world will enjoy it, but I think anyone could. This is not my thing at all. YA, paranormal, there's a bit of romance in it. Like, they're like, if you were to sum this series up in a couple of words, I would probably dislike most of the things, if you know what I mean. But together, this is fantastic. It is about a band of friends that goes on a quest to look for, like, a lost, supposed dead, but not really dead, sleeping under the ground Welsh king. There's magic, there's psychics, and it's the characters in these books that get me, you guys. I'm not even a character person, I'm a plot person, but the characters in this book just get me. They're all wonderful, they're all lovable, they're all extremely different, they're all extremely well thought, they all develop through the series in an incredible way. I was just blown away by the whole series. I think anyone who enjoys Harry Potter, again, no matter what interests you have really in books, genres wise or whatever, I think if you enjoy Harry Potter, you will also enjoy these. They're so good, you guys. Another book I really love was 13 Minutes by Sarah Pinsbough. I don't have this one. Again, it was a library book. I have bought another Sarah Pinsbough book since, which I have not got to yet. But wow, this book was great. I have not ever or since read anything like it. It was a mystery, and it was done in such a unique way. The point of view it was told from was really weird. So it was a girl is found drowned in a river, but they managed to revive her. She has no memory of the attack and doesn't know what happened, so they don't know, was she attacked, was it an accident, was it a suicide attempt, they don't know. And the whole thing is told from her ex-best friend's point of view. So they're all sort of teenagers, 17, 18, but a girl who she hasn't talked to in years and years and years, but they used to be friends when they were little kids. That's who the perspective is told to. They still go to school together, but they do not interact at all, which I thought was so interesting. And also, a lot of the book used modern technology. There was a lot of texting, and there was actual chapters that were the text conversation, and it was just done so well. And I've seen similar things in books, but like just the way it was done was so ingenious, and the characters were good, and it was just really different. I just couldn't put it down, and I did not see the ending coming, you guys. For me, that is the mark of like a really great mystery. I've read so many mysteries over the years that normally I can tell pretty soon who it's going to be, whether it be a movie, TV show, book. My mum has stopped watching mystery TV shows with me because after like 5 minutes I'm like, it's clearly him, and she just gets annoyed at me spoiling it. But yeah, I know it's a good mystery book when I have had no inkling at any stage that it was who it all turned out to be. So yeah, super good. Would definitely recommend that to any mystery fans. Our second to last one is There May Be a Castle by Piers Torday. This book again was done in a unique way, and I think that is one of the main things I look for in books. Not even the age range, the genre, the author, but I look for stories that seem to be told in a unique way. And I'm not majorly into multimedia or anything, just an interesting concept is enough to grab me in a book, and this was another one that was interesting. So this is a family, a mother, a son and a daughter, and they're heading to the grandmother's on, I believe, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, but there's a snowstorm and the car crashes. The mother and daughter are left unconscious. This all happens at the start of the book, it's not spoilers. And the little boy cannot get his mother or sister awake, so he just gets out of the car and starts walking in the hope to find help. But they're in a snowstorm, it's incredibly cold, it's the middle of the night. The sister then wakes up and realises her brother's gone, so it's told in two halves. It's told from the brother and then the sister, but the brother, who's only a little boy of maybe like 8, this is a middle grade book, is sort of in an imaginary world to cope with obviously the stress that he's going through. He imagined his toy horse comes alive and they're on a mission to get to a castle, which is a safe place. So you're getting him and you can kind of see through the story what he's actually experiencing, even though in his mind it's not, but you can tell. And then you get the sister side of the story where she's looking for him, so you can see how dire things are getting. The end of this book, guys, I was broken. I was lying on the bed sobbing like a baby, and I am not a crier. It takes a lot for me to cry. I am an emotional person, but just tears aren't my thing. I was lying on the bed sobbing like a baby, you guys. It is so deep, it is so heartfelt, it is so meaningful. It has a message in it that is incredible and worth learning for adults and children. I think that sometimes middle grade, can you hear the wind, you guys? It's so stormy here. I think middle grade gets put down a lot. I feel like middle grade can take a really serious, deep topic and explore it in ways, if it's done well, it can be beneficial to adults and children. It's so beautiful, you guys. It's so moving, and I would give it to any adult or child struggling with grief. It's really gorgeous. And my last mention, again going off a unique kind of twist on a book, is The Wordsmith by Patricia Ford. I have a full review of this. I don't think I have a full review of any of the others, but if I do, I'll link them all down below. And this book, again, is an incredible concept. It's in a world where words are rationed. So the world has been nearly completely destroyed. It's like a sort of, not post-apocalyptic because there's nothing really like scary going on, but just there's a small population and they're sort of isolated because of like a natural disaster. And the leader has decided that words and communication are dangerous. So one of the ways to control the population is to restrict what words they're allowed to know and use. So our main character is an apprentice wordsmith, and it is the wordsmith's jobs to know all the words and then sort of delegate who should know what. So obviously everybody needs to know basic words, but then people need job specific words as well, and they make these little cards, and everyone has their own individual pack of cards, which is the words they're allowed to know and use. And like, it's a really serious crime if you're like found messing with words, man. And I don't want to go too much into it. There's a band that obviously try to like rise up and change this and think it's wrong, and it's just super interesting concept. The writing also blew me away. Patricia Ford is an Irish writer, so I guess kind of local to me. And also this is her debut novel, but she's written other books, but they're like easy reading, sort of learning to read, educational kind of books, I guess. But this is her first like fictional novel, and it is so well written, you guys. She has a real way with words. Her world was so easy to visualize, even though it was so different from our own, and that's something I really love. So if you like kind of light fantasy, again, it kind of ties into the Fahrenheit 451, like, book lovers, guys, we love books, we love words, we value words, written, spoken, whatever, and yeah, it definitely gave me that kind of vibe, so I super enjoyed it. This is going to be a rather long video, I realise, as I'm sitting here ranting about all my favourite books, but you guys, I love books. I read 130 books this year, so to pick 5 favourites was incredibly hard, but I'm glad with what I picked. They're all good picks, and seriously, I would recommend any of them to anybody. They were all fabulous and all 5-star reads. I had more 5-star reads through the year that I didn't include in the list, but like these ones were like as close to perfection as you can get. I really enjoyed them. Thanks for watching today, you guys. If you have read any of these books, let me know your thoughts down below. If you're thinking of reading these books, give them a go and let me know below. If you dislike them, tell me. Like, I'll chat it out. We're good. If it's nothing related with the best books of 2017, you just want to chat, comment down below. It's all good. We're all friends here. I hope you're all happy. I hope you're all healthy, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.